For what purpose does the gentleman from Oregon seek recognition?
I have an amendment at the desk, number 42.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 42, printed in Part A of House Report number 115-650, offered by Mr. DeFazio of Oregon.
Pursuant to House Resolution 839, the gentleman from Oregon, Mr. DeFazio, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Oregon.
Mr. Chairman, years ago, people used to refer to the tombstone mentality at the FAA with a lack of oversight where fatal accidents happened, loss of rudder control and other things like that that could have been prevented with proper maintenance. We've moved beyond that point to a much more engaged and active FAA, except Congress has imposed a tombstone mentality on the FAA. At the behest of Chinese battery manufacturers and large firms in the U.S., who utilize those batteries. An amendment was placed into a previous bill that prohibits the FAA from exercising their judgment about the safety of the carriage of lithium batteries on airplanes. Instead, we are bound to a international convention, the ICAO, who is very responsive to third world countries and China and others in terms of seeking lowest common denominator regulation of anything that they can. Normally, we lead the world. Normally, we would say, no, get this stuff off aircraft. We've lost two 747s. Two 747s, they were cargo aircraft, went down because of lithium batteries. It only takes a very few lithium batteries. Do we have the lithium battery? This is packaging of lithium batteries. This is what happens with those lithium batteries if just one overheats and starts a spontaneous reaction. Again, catastrophic to the aircraft. Now, we are temporarily under an ICAO rule that says that they should not be carried in passenger aircraft. But they are still being regularly carried in the holds of cargo aircraft. Now, I mean, we have oceans, we have freighters, they have containers. You could plan ahead. Let's say 2 months from now, we're going to say these things don't go in the air anymore because, okay, yeah, you're right. There's only a couple of pilots who are going to lose their lives. Kind of concerns me. And, well, what happens if the 747 comes down in a populated area? Whoops, a lot more people lose their lives. So, you could say 2 months from now, they're not going to be on aircraft anymore, and the industry can set up a new supply chain of putting these things in containers and shipping them across the ocean in a way that will not endanger people on the ground and, in all probability, would not lead to fatalities if there was an uncontained, spontaneous ignition of these batteries. Even worse, this administration has designated that you ever hear of this? Pipeline Hazardous Safety Materials Agency, PHMSA, which is a little tiny, pretty dysfunctional agency, will take over the authority for the regulation and the negotiation of the regulation of lithium batteries from the FAA. What does PHMSA, Pipeline Hazardous Safety Materials Agency, know about aviation? Nothing, zero, nada, nothing. And so I guess, again, we're seeing the clout of the manufacturers and the Chinese battery manufacturers. Now, theoretically, they're safer now because they can only be charged to 30%, but yet often the Chinese just kind of forget to do it that way and put them on the planes anyway. So this is an accident waiting to happen. It's an imposition of a tombstone mentality on the FAA by Congress. It says until there is another proven crash due to lithium batteries, we can't regulate. Well, come on, really? Another proven crash we can't regulate? Let's give the FAA the authority to regulate these batteries. They could probably develop containers that they could go in and still be on aircraft, but there are other ways of moving these batteries in world commerce. So I would urge adoption of my mentality and my amendment and the repeal of the tombstone mentality mandate on the FAA. With that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman